Here's a brief video to show you my favorite new feature in Enterprise 2020. It's for landed costs. This is an advanced inventory feature, so you'll need to be in the Platinum edition of the software. You go into Preferences, enable it here under Advanced Inventory Settings. When you turn it on, it's going to create a landed cost account, which is an other current asset account, and then it allows you to create items that will map to that account as well. So now that I've got it enabled, I'm going to go over to my item list. I actually have two items set up. I've got a duty and a freight account, and you can see here they're considered other charges and they map to landed costs. So now I'm ready to go. I'm going to show you here on the Valuation Summary report what our current average cost is for an item, $6.27. Remember that because that's going to change once we push through the landed cost amount. I'm going to go over to a bill that I have. And in this case, it was for more almonds. That's what we just looked at on the list. Okay, so this was a $7 unit cost. I forgot to add in my freight on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and update it now. Okay, I've got freight, as we talked about, that other charge account. Just to make it easy, we're going to call it an even $100, and I have 50 units here. So we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I've got to up my invoice there. Other assets, this landed cost account is actually a clearing account. So we're going to add the freight in and then it's going to come back off in the expense tab because we're spreading the cost out. So stay with me here. So we're just adding $100 for that freight cost. Now I want to allocate it back to the actual items, the inventory items. So we're going to push down that cost to increase the per item cost. So we're going to go ahead and click calculate landed cost. This brings us to another screen. This pops up the landed cost window. So now I need to take a look at the bills. I've got a couple bills where I already included landed cost, but I do have a new one that's not on here. So I want to do all because I know this happens to be this year. Okay, and when I do that, it's now showing me two of my vendor bills I have allocated landed cost, and I do have one here that's unallocated. That's the one that I want to work with. I'm going to click here, add the bill. Perfect. So I've got $100 to allocate, and down here it's showing me my options. I can allocate here by either quantity, percent, by the amount. So if I had multiple lines on here, it would make more sense, or I can manually do it. In this case, just for simplicity, I'm going to base it on the quantities. So here I'm taking $100, spreading it out to the 50 units. It's going to increase my cost by the $2 here. So here I've spread it out. I'm going to go ahead and post it to the bill. Okay, and then if I had set my sales price off of my cost, this is giving me an option to go ahead and update that as well. I'm going to skip that. So now we've got it here. So once I click OK, watch what happens. So it added this original $7 we had. Remember, it was the 50 units at 7 gave me the $350. I took the $100, spread it out. So that increased my unit cost to $9 each for a total amount of $450. Rather than double count that, it's then deducting that freight off of this tab. So running it back through the clearing account. So my clearing account is going to be 0. We're going to go take a look at that. But my per unit cost is increased to reflect the freight cost. Okay, we're going to go ahead and save that. And then we're going to go back and look at the valuation summary. Remember, it was the $6.27. Now look at it. Oh, and it increased it to $6.56. So now we've spread out that landed cost, so our margin reports will be accurate. Let's go take a look at the landed cost account. I'm going to go into my chart of accounts, and landed cost still has a $0 balance, which is terrific. And here we see it, the Green Valley nuts. We saw it increasing and then decreasing when we allocated it out. So your balance should always be 0 in here.